This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by eXp Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
So, Matt, you were recently headed south for vacation to Southern California, and you got to drive past the thriving metropolis of Coalinga. Did you not?
We blinked and we almost missed it.
I know.
I mean, what does it have, one stoplight?
When I was growing up, it didn't have any, and then I remember when they put the first one in, right next to Big K.
Now there's 3.
No longer a
So
Big K.
for people that don't know, Coalinga is located where in California?
So if you look north to south, east to west of California, you just draw some lines. Smack dab in the middle is Coalinga.
So just south of, what'd you
everything.
Yeah. Not
so
just
Central California.
Central
Yes.
California, the biggest landmark is it's about an hour and a half southwest of Fresno.
And Coalinga is known for what major industry?
So Coalinga, we're gonna do a history of Coalinga. So Coalinga
What's its major
was a boom
exports and imports?
was a boom town. It was a boom town. So that movie came out, I think, late 2000s. There Will Be Blood.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, so
is that the
it's
town?
like Coalinga, Taft, like that whole region.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they've been pulling oil out of the
Now
ground.
I'm very intrigued. You should have told me that.
Yeah.
Instead of being known for the dumb horned toad, you should have
The
told
dumb horn toad. That's the number one mascot in the country.
But There Will Be Blood. That is a really great movie. And I had no idea that it was based out. Is the story based on that town or what?
So it's based, I believe,
It wasn't
on,
shot in the town.
No, but the landscape's the same. So just outside of Bakersfield, about 2 hours south, there's a town named Taft. I think, if my memory serves, it's more closely aligned with that history, but the histories are the same.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
It's all the same with like the small town there and the way that it got started, and still the oil industry is still booming.
Oh, wow,
there.
that's so incredible.
So when I was in third grade, I remember...
See, that's what you should, when you tell people I'm from Coalinga and they're curious, what is that town? You should, well, have you seen the movie There Will Be Blood?
But most people haven't seen it. You gotten
No,
so
what
excited.
are you talking about? There Will Be Blood is a huge, popular movie.
It's probably a 50%
Daniel
chance.
Day-Lewis won an Academy Award for that movie.
See, you know good cinema, clearly. You know, because Coalinga and Daniel Day-Lewis. But most people don't. Most people recognize it for Harris Ranch. When you're driving south, smell all the cows.
The casino? No?
It's a hotel. It's a hotel.
And a fancy restaurant like steakhouse.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it.
And then there's all the cows, the Harris Ranch feed lot. But anyways, what this has to do with real estate is the number of U.S. homes for sale is slowly returning to normal, and it's an incredible trend. Economists say, I'm reading this article on Realtor.com, and it's just crazy to me because we were like, when is inventory going to normalize? When is this going to happen? Because there's been such a deficit, there's been such a need for housing, and it's starting to normalize. And in the states like Texas, like out in Austin, have some buddies who run big operations, real estate operations out in Austin, and they are seeing pre-pandemic inventory levels out in Austin. So what does this have to do? Like, obviously, we're based out of the Sacramento region. We're here in California, not in Texas. Thank goodness. And what happens over there tends to affect us 5, 6, maybe 8 weeks later. Like Val and I were coaching with this fantastic guy. His name's Bill Pipes, and he every single week we'd have a coaching call, and he'd be like, "Hey, like this is back in early 2022, and so things were still rocking. Interest rates were low. You know, everybody was out buying a house, and times were good. But then they started jacking the interest rates up, and in these other markets, like out in Austin and stuff, the real estate market came to a screeching halt. Like it slowed down way sooner than it did in Sacramento. And so my coach kept asking, "Hey, Johnny, how are things going? How are things going?" I'm like, "Good, we're rocking and rolling, blah, blah, blah." And then all of a sudden, the next week comes by, like 4 or 5 weeks later, and I'm like, "Man, I don't know what happens. It feels like we're still like stepped on the acceleration pedal, but somebody else is just pushing on the brakes." And he says, "Yeah, that's the Fed. They've jacked up the interest rates. I'm surprised you didn't feel this sooner." And so what that has to do with us is, if you're seeing the slowing happening in other regions in the country, it is going to happen here. Now, prices are still high. We're not talking about a correction, but what we are seeing is sellers no longer being kings of the real estate transaction. We saw a big correction when interest rates first started increasing, and now we're starting to see more of a normalization. So that's good news for buyers, still good news for sellers, because sellers, most of the people selling homes also have to buy a home. They're not just going to live on the streets. And so this is also making it easier for them to find inventory. Valerie, have you seen anything out there? Like, what are your thoughts on what's happening?
Yeah, I think this is, every seller doesn't want to hear that, you're not the king of the transaction anymore, but in all reality, it's healthy. This is a good place to be at where neither the buyer or the seller is in too much control over the situation, because then we can come to an agreement. Everybody can be happy. That's, I think, how it should be. Right. But so some things that we're seeing now is sellers doing price reductions, sellers being willing to give buyer credits, just being a little bit more flexible and working with the buyers and helping them out rather than being like, nope, take it or leave it.
Exactly. So just to give you some cold hard facts, some stats here for you, the inventory nationally, so we're talking nationally here, is up 35% year over year. So
Nice.
This month compared to this month last year, it's up 35%. So there's more homes nationally. You may not be feeling that yet locally, but know that it is coming, which puts it at an 18-month high. So this is the most inventory we've had in almost in a year and a half.
And why would you say that is? Is that new construction? More people just interested in selling their home for some reason? Where is the new inventory coming from your perspective?
In my perspective, a lot of sellers have been waiting. They kept thinking interest rates were going to come down, and they're just tired of waiting. They have to make a move. Like waiting 18 months, 2 years is a long time if you were wanting to make a move 2 years ago. And so people are like, they're retiring, they're done waiting. There's all these life events that are happening, and they're saying, screw it, I don't know when interest rates are, because initially it was like, oh, this is going to be quick. It's going to be a 6 month.
Right.
Oh, it's going to be 12 months.
You're right. A lot of people thought that.
Date the rate, marry the house. And now it's like, oh my gosh, when is, like, I was talking to a lady in Sun City recently, and she said, I way overpaid for my home. I thought I cannot afford my mortgage, and it's just killing me right now. But I thought I'd be able to refinance. Like I thought this would be a short-term situation, and it's turned into like almost an 18-month situation, and I cannot refinance my house and get a lower payment. So you're also running into some of those situations. So 18-month high, but homes are still selling quickly. So if the home is priced right, we're getting offers. Like we just put a home in escrow for how much?
2.65.
$2.65 million. $2.65 million. And it's an all cash offer. So we're still seeing the cash buyers. We're still seeing movement in all levels of the market. Obviously in the lower income, like the lower price points, there's still a lot of movement, but still in the higher end, that house sold in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
And so at least we got an accepted offer in 2 weeks. It would have been faster, but we negotiated a long time on that one. Took about a week's worth of negotiation to put that one together. But my point is that it's still a good time to sell a home. Homes are selling quickly. They are selling for near record high prices, but that might change as the market continues. So it's I'm holding my breath. I'll be curious to see what happens this time next year. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not making any predictions, but if you're looking to buy or sell a house, you need to make that decision based on even if. Not what if, but even if. I've talked about this before, right, Val?
Yeah.
So like a lot of people will like, well, what if interest rates go higher? What if interest rates go down? What if prices come down? You need to buy it even if. If the woman in Sun City had purchased the home under even if situations, she would have been more comfortable with her decision. So even if interest rates didn't come down, she can afford the mortgage payment. Even if something doesn't happen, she has a plan B. Right? And so we encourage you to do that. But if you're thinking about selling a home and you're like, well, what can I do to maximize the return on my sale, like the return on this investment? Our suggestion is to reach out to a realtor that has a strong marketing plan. So we have like a 195-point marketing plan. It's all spelled out. You can read all 195 points. If you'd like to get a copy of it, just call or text 530-GET-MORE. That's 530-GET-MORE. And we can send you our 195-point marketing plan. And you can go through and say, is this what you're looking for? Is there anything missing from the marketing plan that we have compared to your other realtor that you may be interviewing? Because we sell homes on average every 3 days. So we're not, the average realtor sells a home every 98% of realtors do not sell a home every 1.5 months. Well, no, I may say that wrong. 98% of realtors don't sell fewer than 1.5 homes a month.
Yes.
That's what it is. 98. We sell a home on average every 3 days. So way, way, way more experience than your typical realtor, way more resources, and that's why we're able to offer that 195-point marketing plan and complete with a Bay Area buyer marketing plan. So if you'd like to learn more, go ahead and call or text. We'll send it over to you for free. That's 530-GET-MORE, 530-GET-MORE.
Mike, some people would call this being greedy, but from my perspective, it's just the plain fact that we work hard for our money. We want better customer service. We want a better experience. And that's what you get when you work with Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team at Made for More Realty. For instance, Margie and Ben, they wanted to sell their mother's home in Rancho Cordova, but not only did they want to sell it as is, but they also wanted top dollar. And that's exactly what they got from Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team. Sold it for $20,000 over list price, and they had cash in hand in only 17 days.
Yeah, and the key to that, again, is the customer service. Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves real estate team took care of them through the whole process. There's a reason why they have over 760 5-star Google reviews, and were voted the #1 team in Roseville for the last 3 years. So if you would like some help selling your home, you were curious what kind of offers you can get, the high end, the low end, or maybe just a cash offer, you could take advantage of Johnny Jennings and Tom Daves real estate team's Bay Area marketing plan to get the most for your home when you Google Made for More Realty. Expect more, get more with Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team at Made for More Realty, brokered by EXP Realty. Just Google Made for More Realty today and get more for your home. License number 581837.